London's completely, potty trained.
James was potty trained in 2 weeks.
London counts up to 30.
They can count to 6 in Spanish.
London definitely speaks very clearly.
Melania is writing the little scribbles better than anyone else in her class.
She's kind of made herself a vegetarian.
She is like my steak girl.
You're all right. You're all right, sweetie.
I don't have any competition. I don't know. Ask her. Does she have any?
Okay, so if you're a mom, you know scenes like that from Bravo's Real Housewives of Orange County are all too familiar in lots of houses. Moms trying to up each other when it comes to their kids. So why do women feel the need to constantly compete, and how can we break the cycle?
Yeah, here with some answers are Stacey Kaiser, we do, author of How to Be a Grown-Up and a contributor to USAtoday.com, and Deborah Shigley, author of The Go-Getter Girl's Guide, Get What You Want in Work and in Life and Look Great while you're at it.
Or kill somebody getting it.
Is the competition, Stacey, usually around kids? Because that's where you usually see sort of the focus.
It really is usually around kids. It's because what starts to happen when you become a mom, if you don't have a lot going on for yourself, that becomes your identity. You're pouring everything you've got into that child, and so that's what you're competing for.
But isn't it normal? Like, you do wonder, is my kid ahead of the curve, behind the curve? Is he or she where she's supposed to be? Is there some normalcy to that?
Yeah, the normal part is wondering and wanting your child to be their best.
Right.
The abnormal part is
that
telling everyone how great your kid is and bragging all the time.
Well, you're a new mom, right, Deborah? Yeah. And so you were at a party recently and something like this happened. What happened?
Yeah, well, there's a big competition around breastfeeding versus formula feeding.
And so people get downright ugly over that.
Yeah. So a lot of the moms were sitting around nursing, and one mom made a big deal about whipping it out as opposed to having one of those covers that you covered up.
Moments.
Right, discreet moments. And she was talking about how she was a lactivist and all this stuff. So the implication was that you can't just be a nursing mom, you have to be a lactivist, because that makes you
heard
better.
of the concept. What is that? Somebody can nurse anybody?
Right. It makes you because that makes you a better mom, because you're more natural, you're more organic, which is a big area of competition for moms.
So you go to school of lactivism? What do you do?
There is a lactivist school. Yes, there is.
That's
okay. Now let's say, Stacey, you're at a party and a mom starts doing what those Bravo housewives were doing, which is like, my daughter does this and my daughter does that and my daughter. What's the right thing that you're supposed to do as a mom who's listening?
Well, there's definitely the indirect approach, which is you know that whole if you can't beat them, join them, and you say, wow, your child is really fabulous. What else are they good at? How else can my kid be like your kid?
Be careful if you ask that.
Why would you do that? What's the point of doing that?
Well, part of the point of doing that is because it might make the person stop.
Oh.
The second is to do some kind of an equalizing statement, to say, you know what, it looks like both of our kids are great, and I'm so happy.
And aren't we wonderful mothers?
Yeah, and I have to tell you, if it gets really hard, if it gets really challenging, what you want to do is sit the person down kind of lightly and say, gosh, I feel like we're always competing with each other and we're such good friends. Let's really try and stop.
Should you just stay away from sometimes isn't it easier just to stay away from those types of people?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I'm a big fan of the disengage, just let the comment go over your head. And the other thing too is to have things to talk about besides your kids, because part of what fuels this competition is people getting into the one-upping over and over again because there's nothing else to talk about. I mean, have you read any books lately? Something like that.
Except, as a young mother now, it leaves very little time. I think I saw an adult movie, not porno. I don't mean that. I mean all I saw for about 7 years were Disney movies. You know, that's it, because that's what you watch.
Are you guys seeing it more with stay-at-home moms, working moms, or do they divide up into two camps? Because I know there's a lot of friction when it comes to moms who can and choose to stay home, and women who sometimes want to or sometimes choose not to.
I really find it more in moms that don't have enough of their own stuff going on, whether you're working or not.
Right.
So you could be working at the school, you could be really involved in teaching your child to read better than everybody else's child. No, but it's really about not having your own thing to feel successful about, and so you dump all that pressure on your kids.
So your children actually end up defining you.
Absolutely, and it puts a lot of pressure on the kids because they feel like if they aren't good enough, if they aren't talkable enough, you're not going to be discussing them at a party, that you're not going to be satisfied.
And if you're a working mom too, I think you may feel like you're lacking, so you're trying to make up for it with that bragging.
But our culture makes them feel that way.
because you feel like you're not present enough, right?
I think there's a big part of that. I think it comes from feeling powerless, from wanting to be socially accepted, and wanting to sort of pat yourself on the back because you're not getting pats on the back elsewhere.
Okay.
Makes sense. Thank you for illuminating
Aren't you two smart people?
I want to read about lactivism.
I'm sure you do.